finally, the US Monastir team win their first game. It took them 4 games to be able to go ahead and win, but they won their first game against APR. I mean, they were able to avenge the loss that they suffered in the first game that they had to open up the BAL Sahara Conference. And this game ended 83-70. Let's just talk about this. So Marcus Christopher Crawford, I mean, he found his shot today. He found his range, and he was able to rack up a game-high 31 points. So this is the Marcus Crawford that the US Monastir needed. The Marcus Crawford that they had in the previous 3 games was a bust, and I'm so happy that he was able to respond like this. And in the games that are following up, they only have 2 games left. They must win both back-to-back. They must win against the River Hoopers, and they must win against the AS Downers team, the home team. And if they don't, they will be just down in the group. And that's a very tall ask that the US Monastir team have put themselves in. They put themselves in this situation going down in a 3-game losing streak, but at least they're able to break that. And even the same day, in the next video I'm going to make, you'll see that the River Hoopers winning streak was ended by AS Downers. I mean, Fofana just hit that game, just that game winner at the buzzer, just to finish off that game in a clutch performance. I am going to talk about that in the next video. But in this video, we'll just look at the US Monastir team. So the first game the US Monastir team played against APR, it was a game that was close, it was clutch, and that game went to overtime. And US Monastir just lost their grip in that game in OT, as they were only limited to 6 points. And the US Monastir team, knowing that very same fact, when this game started, they did not start off guns blazing immediately right off the bat, because APR started off with 22 points. That was the highest scoring quarter that APR had. But you can see US Monastir, they just followed up with 19 points. And the same productivity followed up in the second quarter, as US Monastir had 17 to APR's 15. Then US Monastir, for some reason, I just felt like it was just going to look like the same game. It just looked like the same outcome that we are going to expect, because at some point I was asking myself, do US Monastir really want to win this game? Because at the end of the third, it was just so close, and there was a high likelihood that the APR were just going to put them away. But in the fourth quarter, and this was the best quarter that I've seen the US Monastir team have in terms of execution, only just executing good offense and just having a sense of urgency in winning the game. You could see they went ahead and they scored 33 points, a game high 33 points, just to close out APR, and they just put this game out of arm's reach, winning this game by 13 points. And even looking at shooting wise, they led in field goals, they led in assists, they were tied in steals, and they led in blocks. So the guy that I was really looking at mostly when it came to rim protection is Arter Majok. Man has not looked the same since that time they got eliminated in the semis by Petro Delano. When he came back, then didn't look the same, but we will get to him. But shooting wise, US Monastir looked solid. 43% shooting from the field. Out of 66 attempts, they sunk in 29. And on 2-point field goals, they were 18 out of 40. That's 45%. So it was the gutsy way that they had to go about it, but still, it still got the job done, especially at the fourth. Then shooting from downtown, they shot at an incredible 42%. 11 out of 26 shots went in. They had 26 attempts, 11 of them went in. And it was something that I really was concerned about, because a lot of BAL teams, especially in the Sahara Conference, are really, really struggling to shoot the 3-ball. And the 3-ball has not been falling for many teams. They have been struggling. I've seen APR struggle a lot. And in this game, they really struggled, shooting 5 of 21 from downtown. That was 23%. So this is a growing concern, especially with the ever-changing way basketball is being played. And if you're not able to knock down the 3-ball, there's a high likelihood that you're not going to be able to win that ball game. And at least even cut the deficit, because the high 3-point percentage really gave the US Monastir team the edge, and they're able to just get the lead and maintain that lead. And shooting wise from the line, both teams shot at a similar clip, as US Monastir shot 73%. On 19 attempts, they scored on 14. And the APR team, they shot to 72%, 13 out of 18 attempts from the line. This was something that was good, and I really like the way teams are paying attention to the line, especially USM. They didn't disappoint. I've seen some teams just throw away and break shots intentionally, and this thing, not even intentionally, but they're not able to knock them down consistently. And they have free throws, so gotta make sure you make those free throws. Then when it came to like the rebounds, you can see US Monastir 43 rebounds to APR's 44. US Monastir was serious in this game, 1 rebound shy. And in the assists, US Monastir dominated that stat with 19 assists. And both teams were tied in steals with 6 steals apiece. And the 5 blocks that US Monastir team had, that was the difference. And our man of the hour, Marcus Christopher Crawford, this man was just on full-on attack mode. This is the mode that he's supposed to be at in every single game that US Monastir play, so that the US Monastir team have the ability to contend or even just challenge for a playoff spot, even a number 3 spot, if they're able to finish with a good point of differential. That is, his performance is paramount. He had a game high 31. He was followed by Osama with 16. Then Firas Layani, he had 12. In the rebounds, you could see Sadio, he had 12, followed by Ater Majok with 10, and Marcus Crawford had 5. And you can see Marcus Crawford not only did he lead in scoring, but also in the assists. We had a game high 6 assists, leading the US Monastir team in assists. Then on the other side, you can see APR Dario Hunt, he had 17 points. Obadiah Noel, he had 15. Alex Mpoye had 11 points. Adonis Fila, he had 11 rebounds, leading the APR team in rebounds. Then Obadiah Noel had 5 assists. Then this game in particular was so good for USM, as I must say, shooting wise, they shot very well, just as I mentioned earlier. And the guy that I was even monitoring in our APR team was Tom Bush from Mukota. This man has just been just playing garbage minutes. He has 0 productivity, 6 minutes, not of 7 minutes, because he played 6 minutes and 30 seconds. He played garbage time. He did absolutely nothing. He's not even a priority on offense at all, and he's just relegated to a bench role. And not even a good bench role, like the toy that it works, but he's not gonna be given any spotlight to do anything, because there are other better players in the squad anyway. So yeah, and also George Williams, I was just paying attention to him as well. Despite USM's good performance, George Williams had the poorest performance. He played 16 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 4 shooting, 25% shooting from the field. Dude was just virtually useless. Didn't even draw any fouls to get to the line. Then Ater Majok, I don't know what happened to Ater Majok. I was thinking about him while I was making the script for this video, and I must say, dude just fell off a cliff. I mean, when he came in the BAL in season 1, you could see he had just flashes of brilliance in season 1 and season 2, especially that year that he won the defensive player of the year and won the championship. But when he made that move to Petro de Luanda, I don't know what happened in Petro de Luanda in training camp or anything. But they had a very good regular season in the BAL. But when it came to the playoffs, got knocked out in the semis, and dude has just been downhill ever since. It doesn't even look like the Ater Majok of a few years ago. And USM, since that championship, I mean, they've been really, really struggling, and they've been really, really going through it. And George Williams, like I mentioned, man, this man is so he had the most negative plus minus despite the win. He was a minus 16. But Marcus Crawford's performance, Marcus Crawford only rested for 5 minutes in this game, and he was able to produce a good performance to carry the team to the win. He basically just put the USM team on his back, and he just broke his back, making sure that he wheeled this team to the win. And I was just excited to see that, because it was about time USM won a game. Teams like APR, you could see they're first timers, and they've racked up a couple of wins, and it's not a good look for the USM right now. But anyway, even looking at the other statistics, I was just paying attention to what APR and USM were doing, but you could see on turnovers, still the USM team really struggled in turnovers with 15 turnovers. But the good thing was they utilized their fast break chances. They had 30 fast break points. They generated 30 fast break points. They had 13 second chance points and 27 bench points. So those statistics, those auxiliary statistics, really helped the US Monastir team go ahead and win. I know Marcus Crawford couldn't do this alone because it's a team sport, and you can see his contribution. I can say he was 80% of the reason as to why, because as he was able to get hot, he was able to rally the troops and go ahead and just win this game. And man, things are just getting much more difficult for the USM team, because now they have to win 2 straight games after starting poorly like that. And right now you can see the APR team have an ugly record of 2-3, because after this loss, you can see the APR team, they started off well, beating the USM team in the first game 89-84, which was very close. Then APR lost to the River Hoopers, and they lost that game. It was very clutch. And the game that APR won against the home team is Downers 66-61, also a clutch game. And you can see the APR team, most of their games have been very close, and this is very dangerous. And I'm also going to address this in the AS Downers game, because I've seen this thing unfold, and there's a high likelihood that APR or AS Downers, there's a high likelihood that any of those teams can fall off and not be able to make the playoffs. That's only dependent on how these teams score. If they're not able to score and have a tied record, they're going to have to compete with Bangui to be able to get in. And USM, I mean, they have to blow out teams, like literally blow out teams. They have to win by at least 25 to 30 points. If they don't do that, they're just going to miss the playoffs again for the second straight season. And even all roads show that they're going to miss the playoffs, given like how they were playing, the way they played in the way they played this to start. Sometimes you even question if they really wanted to make the playoffs. But hopefully this is not a one and done performance from USM, because if they are not able to produce the same against River Hoopers and AS Downers, things can be very difficult and messy going in and just finishing up the Sahara Conference. But all in all, very good performance by USM. Hopefully they're able to replicate the same. And the game in attendance, the guys in attendance were 2,330. Almost forgot to mention this. And I was very excited to see this, because for the first time I've seen a game hitting the 2,000 mark, and it's not the home team playing. Because you have seen games, we only have 700 people. But in this one, even despite the home team not being there, and in this case the Downers team not playing, there was fan interest in this game. And you could see, even when the game started, because there were not a lot of people there, but as the game progressed, the good performance was evident, and a lot of people had some interest in watching this game, especially watching USM win, because they are a North African team. I can say, out of the North African team I've seen, all the North African teams I've seen in BAL, USM are the ones that have performed poorly. But in this game, they were able to knock off that stereotype, because coming off a 3-game losing streak, they needed to go ahead and win this game. But I am so excited to see them win. I am so excited to see that, and hopefully can be able to get more of those performances. Hopefully the coaching staff for USM are able to get things together again and continue with these performances. But that's all for me. And also catch up with BAL news on my Facebook group, where right now we are 1,800 strong, and help me get to 10,000, man. I mean, and also like the video, subscribe to the channel. I know you guys like my videos, and please leave your feedback down in the comment section. What you think about USM, what you think about the BL, what you think about APR, man. And I'm out. Peace.